Hi, and welcome to Spring 2020. This is our virtual syllabus, and I just want to take a second and look through it with you. All right, so welcome to English 1. My name is Miss Withers, and I am your English teacher. Yay. Insert awkward jazz hands. I know we're starting the semester off a little differently with starting virtual and then jumping into in-person. It's going to be kind of interesting. But I wanted to record this just so you had something to go off of in case you missed syllabus day. All right, so in this syllabus, we have all of the information you need to know for the rest of the semester. It's pretty thorough. Obviously, there might be things that are missing, random things that pop up, but if not, you can just look through here and you have all the answers you need. So this is our handy dandy table of contents. These are all clickable links. Today, we are just going to go through this in order and not click the links, but if you need to find something, quite obviously, you can do that. Okay, so first off, let's talk about what this class is. English 1 is a comprehensive overview of English language arts. Our school district complies with Mississippi College and Career Readiness standards, and as such, we will, I'm going to summarize, read, annotate, and discuss both literature, informational texts. So that's kind of our first job, is to read both literature and informational text, and then learn how to be really good writers. So write, edit, and share specific genres of writing. That's going to be informational, argumentative, and narrative. And then also speaking and language skills, that's demonstrating the ability to speak and listen effectively. We're going to look at that. And finally, demonstrate the ability to follow the conventions of English grammar, which that's kind of our tricky one, right? We've got to be able to present ourselves in a society where we can have a real conversation and speak and write in a way that makes sense, which Miss Withers struggles with sometimes too. So we're learning together. All right, so English 1 not only aids freshmen in joining the fabric of high school, but also works to prepare these ninth graders, you wonderful kiddos, to take the English 2 content area test. It is a vital, versatile course designed to integrate core concepts and classic literature with creativity and pop culture. So, all that being said, we are preparing not only for the English 2 state test, but also for life. English is super important because it's communication. It's what we do every single day. So I'm very passionate about this. I hope that y'all will enjoy this class, all that good stuff. I do my very best to make it as interesting as possible. I know that not everyone's an English person, but that is my goal. So let's keep trekking. All right, let's talk about the not so fun stuff, our grading policies. So I use the same grading scale as all of Meridian High School. I think it's actually all of Meridian Public Schools. So our tests are going to be 60%, classwork is 30%, homework is 10%. But I want to make a very broad statement that the English teacher feels kind of uncomfortable talking about. But just because the percentage is low, that does not mean it's not important. So I'm looking, for example, at homework. I had a student, and this is the example here, a couple years ago that made A's on all of her tests. She turned in all her classwork. Everything was good except for her homework grade. She never turned in her homework. And that homework grade was an anchor. She couldn't get an A in this class, no matter how many hundreds or 95s she made on tests. Those homework grades were an anchor on her grade. So make sure, even if it's homework, you pay a lot of attention. That 10% can still be very important. Now, you'll have to talk to a math teacher on why exactly it's important, but it's important. All right, so let's talk about what specifically those things might be. All right, so our test grades, those are typically going to be projects and presentations. They might be essays, but that's also going to be our common assessments or quick checks. In this particular year, we're calling those beginning of the year assessments, mid-year assessments, and then end of year assessments. but y'all know what it is. That's when we do the multiple choice shenanigans. Y'all been doing that forever. But anything that Miss Withers creates is going to be either a project or an essay or a presentation. So those are our test grades. All right, our classwork is going to be our journal entries, graphic organizers, anything we do in class, reading notes, all that good stuff. And then finally, our homework might be, which I don't really give much homework, truthfully. I don't. That might be a graphic organizer, yet again, might be annotation or reading. So that is kind of what you can expect from the grade aspect of this class. But I really want us this semester to move past the idea that we're working toward a grade and worry more so about learning the skills. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but just putting that out there. I'm worried less about the grades and more about the learning happening, but we will talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so for makeup work, and this is MHS policy, any student that is absent will receive 3 days to return absentee work. Which, this is a strange policy because, for example, if you're out a week because you have the flu, you have 3 days to turn in all of that work. Not my policy, school's policy. All right, students are responsible for monitoring Canvas and completing all classwork before the due date. So it's your job to make sure you're following along with our Canvas. Yet again, all makeup work is going to be done through Canvas. I know we're about to be back in person, but everything that is graded will be turned in through Canvas. That is an accountability piece. I don't want it shared from Google Drive. I don't want it handed to me on paper. I need it to come through Canvas. So nothing can go missing. We can't have any problems that way. So make sure if you are turning something in, it's coming in through Canvas. All right, so then once a assignment is considered late, that's going to be deducted 5 points for every day it's late. That's because everything we do is important, and typically it's important in the moment. So the later you are, the less information, the less helpful it is to your learning. So it's really important that you get things done when they're done so you get what you need out of the skill. That's our real focus this year, is getting those skills mastered. All right, so let's look at these classroom expectations, everyone's favorite thing. All right, so our rules are pretty standard. Listen when people are talking, participate, stay in your seat, raise your hand to ask and answer questions. This is just to try to keep our classroom from being chaotic. Now, I'll be real. There are some things that I'm okay with. You need to sharpen your pencil, get up and sharpen your pencil. I would prefer you just do that than interrupt the flow of class. So just things like that, and we'll learn those procedures pretty quickly, but just a note. All right, so expectations. I want you to be as creative as possible. English is not black and white. Just keep that in mind. All right, stay kind. I want this to be a safe place for everyone to enjoy and learn together. So let's stay kind. And then collaboration. We've got to collaborate in English. It is not a one-person activity. It may seem like it is, but it's not. We've got to have these conversations and feel free to do so. So that is one big expectation I have for this class. All right, and then not so fun part, but we all know our consequences, right? Meridian Public Schools uses the same ladder of consequences, K-12, so you've seen these before. So we've got redirection, hall conference, parent contact, writing assignment, and then a referral. I don't like having to do these things, but I also know that we have to have order to have class. So if you are disturbing the peace, if you are making it where other students can't learn, then we're going to have to fall down this ladder and do what we need to do. But we will talk on an individual basis. So we're not going to have a long lecture on the consequences and all that good stuff. But just know that if you are making it where other students cannot learn, then we're going to have to deal with that. And I hate to be that way, but it's what's got to be done. As for cell phones, Meridian's Public Schools policy for cell phones is pretty crystal clear. We need to put them up during class. So unless we're doing a lesson that has to do with using our phones, which sometimes we will. I like QR codes personally. If we're doing that, you're fine. But if we're not using cell phones for our lesson, they need to be put up, put away, where you can focus on what you really need to do. All right. And if you have it out, if I have to make you put it up or take it, obviously that's going to be treated as breaking a rule, and we will have to go down the consequence ladder. All right. And then I would be remiss not to make the note that there are some awesome things you can do. So positive behaviors and consequences, these are just things that I would be very happy to see. So you're constantly working hard and collaborating with others. You are helping and working well with other people. You are creative, kind, and genuine. You are genuinely working, trying to learn and be better. These are things that might yield you a positive consequence, which would be verbal praise, maybe a little goodie, some free time, or a call to family. So that's just something I like to add in there. We don't need to just harp on what's going wrong. We can also think about what's going right. So these are some things that I like to do. There are other things, but those are some things I like to do. Okay, now this is our virtual learning. If you are all virtual for whatever reason, or if in the event that we end up going back virtual. So yet again, the consequences, the expectations are the same. There are a couple different rules. So you always be prepared and be on time. Mute yourself while other people are speaking. You're needing to turn on your camera and track that speaker so I can see that you're watching, you're with us. And then I want you to participate in classroom activities. So just because you're on the computer screen doesn't mean you're not going to be participating and doing what you need to do. All right, let's keep checking. Oh, and this is just a silly, y'all. This is just a silly slide about me. All right, so I went to Mississippi State, Hill State. I love Shakespeare. You'll see that in Unit 4 or 3, depending on how many units we get to do this year when we read Romeo and Juliet. I love Shakespeare. And then these are just some of my favorite teachers from TV. But this is my favorite quote in the entire world right now. So I cannot remember the books I've read any more than the meals I have eaten. Even so, they have made me. And what that quote means to me is that every book, every piece of literature, and I would actually like to expand that into every movie I've watched, every song I've listened to, all of these things have created me as a person and who I am. And I think that's the same for you, right? So all of these pieces pull together to make the wonderful person you are. And so I am very blessed to be a part of the school and be able to work with you. And I'm excited to do that. Hopefully I can teach you a love for reading. If not, an appreciation for it. And if not that, hopefully we can get through it together. All right. Have a great day. Thank you so much.